come down to the beach by myself actually at that age. Ride bikes, walk down, skateboard down. A lot of real unique waves, jetties, submerged pipes, sewer pipes. I don't know, kind of a lot of these areas had really hard parking. Parking was miles away, so it wouldn't get that crowded. It's hard to get to. Like all these were sand dunes. There was no parking lot here when I was a kid. Nowhere to park. This is shit pipe. Get the sewage treatment plant on that side, and then there's an old emergency pipe that goes out so that if they have an emergency, they just let it flow. It goes out a mile.
Was the center of the surf industry in the really in the 60s. Let's say when you get into the 60s, and you had every major name was basically in the area that I work in right now. So there's a lot of history. Spot I'm sitting in right now has always been surfboards since that period, which is kind of crazy. So there's a lot of surfers and hot rods have kind of gone hand in hand. I mean, that was so like their cars and stuff would be a reflection of their persona. There's their surf style too. So cars and surfing have always paralleled. Those two countercultures have always kind of come up together, especially from this area, Southern California, the South Bay. I had my dad build my first couple boards when I was about 10 years old, and when he was too busy to build boards for me, I kind of picked up the tools and started making boards for myself. So I've been surfing since I was about, full-time surfing since I was about 9, and my first boards I started building when I was 12. So being that my dad made my first few boards, I got to see him shape and glass the boards, which is pretty unique nowadays, and mostly you have a shaper or you have a glasser. And so I was kind of trained, or just by watching, I did the whole thing. So I stuck with that. That was kind of my deal. Got into junior high, making boards for guys in high school, and I didn't have a car at the time, so they would drive me to Hermosa Beach, ET Surfboards, to buy materials, or I would take the bus. I'd get on the bus with a surfboard blank and a gallon of resin and a bag full of fiberglass. So I was always pretty into building things. By the time I was 16, I actually had a business license in town. My mom co-signed on the bank accounts, and that's where I started having the crossover. The car stuff really started coming into my life, and when I was just about turned 17, I had my first classic car. It was a 55 Chevy, and I was in auto shop, and it just became one of those things where I was really into shop stuff, so auto shop would be, I'd surf in the morning before school, have auto shop, do car stuff, and then after school I would go and work on surfboards and building period correct 60s style longboards, but not trying to be retro, but trying to also make them as correct as possible, but then advance from there. So it's not just like copying, it's understanding the past so that you can put the time in and try to advance it beyond. Wagons have always been kind of the surfer car. To have a two-door wagon is even more desirable for a surfer because it's the hot rod wagon. Never had a 65 wagon. Never thought I'd have one actually, but this was one that I snatched up, and this is probably going to be the most complete restoration that I've done as far as frame off chassis and complete body work. And I'm learning on the body working end of it. I've learned a lot on this particular car, so I'm pretty excited about it. kind of a neat thing that's kind of crossover for me is being able to keep your lines, which would be similar to what an edge would be almost on a surfboard. You know, back taping your body line is kind of neat because it gives you that. You know, you got your soft surface to a covered surface where you know you can run your sandpaper up to that line and create that. On my concaves, actually, that's what I do. Is I'll take a piece of tape, I'll tape off the ellipse on the concave, and I'll shape inside the concave, and then I'll use a block and block sand right up to that edge, and that gives me a hard line. So that's like the exact same process that we use on a surfboard concave that you know, which shops use to create these really straight body. As far as getting into the LS realm, which is kind of new to me, I started out going online and seeing what guys are using, you know, possibly from other cars. You know, being new into the LS thing, I just couldn't take a chance, even though some guys say that stuff fits, and I finally, you know, I finally decided to just look at Holley's stuff and just, you know, go with something that has been proven, and I don't have to stress about it not working. So I've gone with all the Holley brackets, exhaust manifolds, accessory drives, and it just takes all the headache out of it, especially, you know, not having any experience in dabbling in some of these different things that might work in a swap, work for some guys, don't work for other guys. I don't have to stress about it. I just go straight to Holley and get everything, and it's a done deal, and I can focus on all the other things that I got to do on my car. So get 4 of those, okay. 3.5 instead of the 3. Okay. Make sure it's the same metric. Okay. Correct. And at least grade 5. Okay. All right. Thanks, boss.
Okay, so last night I sprayed out this color that I think that you like. It's off of a 65 Chevy truck. It's called Fawn. And when I sprayed it, it's just like the most vanilla, basic, like no frills color at all. Like just
plain Jane engineer.
Just pocket ruler, like protector, nerd glasses, gets in his car and goes to Boeing. You know?
Garrett Research.
Yeah. And it's just like no personality, but also the easiest thing in the world. So you're painted because it's the easiest color to paint.
All right, I guess I can't back out now.
No.
Making it too easy on me.
Well, you're gonna probably tell me that I'm gonna go laminate surfboards, and you're gonna say it's easy, right?
Sure.
So I don't know, but I think you pulled it off. Really simple.
So it's kind of neat to still be working in this area. I'm still, you know, in the surf scene, you know, I'm still connected with a lot of legendary, you know, 80 and 90-year-old guys that were here during that period, the heyday of the surf industry. They're good friends of mine, and I still get to see them almost every day around here, the ones that are still around. And those are the guys that I like to spend time and you know, have a cup of coffee with or go out to lunch with, talk story and educate myself on the past so that I can kind of, you know, really be well-rounded in knowing my craft and knowing my industry. And then I also hang around older guys, same age, that are hot rodders and have coffee in bowling alleys, you know.
Just like you got some big old Sanyo freaking bass speakers, like house speakers. You gotta put it in the back of that wagon.
Dude, I'm old school.
That's
man.
like serious right there. That's like house party, rock house party.
I think those come from Whiting Street, actually.
Really?
Something, yeah.
Really?
The 80s.
Gee, that's, I don't know, 80s might be saying too much for that. That looks like definitely late 70s. That's like a freaking Saturday Night Fever dance party right
I
there.
got 2 turntables over there, the
Got a
microphone behind it.
Okay.